I'm Mr. Turvy.
I'm Mr. Carter, Stephen Carter.
And this is the AV Autocomplete interview.
Glad you got all that out there.
Yeah, thank you.
That's nice.
Here we go. Let's do this. Are Aaron Turvy and Stephen Carter...
I don't even want to know what's going to be under this label.
Oh, I do. Friends.
Friends. Oh,
definitively the answer is
nice.
yes.
There's two different answers. There's my answer and his answer to that.
There's best friend, and we're like right here.
There's so sort of like acquaintance, as in you see the person and walk the other way.
That's a little
And then there's Turvy,
underdefined.
with lots of hugs and awkward looks.
Yeah.
Pats on the back that last too long.
Can't argue.
And long walks on the beach that I try to avoid. Oh, we've got another one. Are good
teachers.
I'd
say one of us
plural
is.
thing here is a problem.
Which one.
I consider myself to not really be a teacher, but a student in my classroom, learning from my students, whereas Turvy is just sort of a dictator.
Not true. Not
completely true. Completely true.
At all. Man, I had something cool to say there, but I can't.
Vegan.
No.
Are Aaron Turvy and Stephen Carter vegan? It's a good question.
No.
Are you a vegan?
No, I am not.
He's got some harsh feelings about this.
0 sick days this year.
He's got some harsh feelings. I've been sick a couple days.
Okay.
I've been sick a couple
All right,
days.
there we go.
But yeah.
The antibiotics in the beef are the reason that I'm not sick anymore.
So
anyway.
it is, it is interesting that the people who don't get sick do consume a lot of beef that is pumped full of growth hormones, antibiotics, and ultimately contributing to climate change and all sorts of things like that.
Here we go.
Of course, Turvy doesn't believe in climate change, FYI.
Not true again.
You can just throw it.
Go ahead, throw. Ooh, you hit a child.
Oh, we got another one.
You can lead on this
Who
one.
is Mr. Carter's? This is terrifying. Who is Mr. Carter's celebrity crush? This is the easiest question in the world, and it's not Mr. Turvy.
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan
I even know
Gosling.
The answer to
It's two answers: Ryan Gosling and his abs.
It's what best friends, I know stuff.
Actually, that just means he's walked in my room and seen the poster of Ryan Gosling.
We talk about
It takes
serious
someone merely
things.
peering into the window of my room to answer that question.
Deep conversations about
It's
life.
really not that at all.
True story.
Whatsoever. There's another one
story.
here. Are you
Go
gonna?
ahead.
You
No,
know
no,
you
I
know what?
insist.
I have yet to take one of these
All
off.
right,
Do you
you go
mind
ahead.
if I
Go
get
ahead,
in
go
here?
ahead.
Who is Mr. Carter's favorite? Ooh, this is gonna be juicy. You ready? Favorite student. Wow. This is not really a question I was expecting. Okay. So, favorite student, I'm assuming this is here at CHCA, favorite student in the school. I consider really all of the students at the school and my coworkers to be my students. And I would say one of my favorite students is the young Padawan himself, Aaron Turvy, the one sitting next to me. I've tried for years to bring Aaron along and to teach him the ways of the teacher. And
He's a mentor.
we're getting there. It's just a slow process.
Someday.
All right, there's another one here. Who is Mr. Carter's nemesis? My arch nemesis. The sort of villain, although I consider myself to be the villain. So I suppose it would be the superhero out to my villain. The what was the name of Bruce Willis's character in Unbreakable?
He's played in a lot.
The Bruce Willis. I'm the Bruce Willis to my
Yeah, I
Mr.
don't know.
Glass, I suppose, is what we're looking for. I think this answer is obvious, and I've made it obvious on a regular basis. The love man himself, the Juliet to my Romeo, the Mr. Jordan Kramer.
I got nothing on that one. I don't even know where to go on that.
Oh, we got some stuff for you, though. Let's check
do
this out.
this.
Check this
Is
out.
this me? Is
This
this
is Turvy. This is does.
Does.
Mr. Turvy. This is
Interesting.
going to be a
Does
good wording
Mr.
here.
Turvy
Does he have a soul?
have
kids?
kids?
Oh, please. Does he have kids?
Yeah.
Does he have kids?
Yes. I have 2 biological
That he
children.
knows of.
And countless other kids in
That's
my classroom.
awkward
All of
that
whom
you
I
would call them
consider
your kids.
much like
I don't
my
know
own
why.
kids.
See, this is the stuff that he does. He says things like
called
this,
love,
and you're
ladies and
like,
gentlemen. It's
that's
called
not
love.
appropriate, actually. So, okay, that's cool. You know what? There's another question. Maybe we go on.
Does Mr. Turvy
Care.
have... Well, it's still...
Oh, this is a juicy one.
Have tattoos?
Have tattoos.
No, I do not. I have 0 tattoos. Stop. Don't even.
I'm just going to say it's a good thing that didn't say piercings.
Oh,
if
man.
that said piercings,
Lots of them.
we might have a
None
more,
of which are any more in my body anywhere.
And if that said piercings, and this was a Google image search, you might even have some interesting results from what I understand.
Close-up of my ear,
high school?
right here.
High school age? I'm not thinking
One
ear,
here,
actually.
one here, one here.
Okay.
Next, does Mr. Turvy ever swear?
Oh,
No.
Lordy, have mercy on my soul. Does
Sixth
Mr.
grade.
Turvy ever swear like a sailor?
No, I
Like-
swear that I love you all dearly.
I
and
don't
that
think that's
love
what this means. I don't
this
think this is
man
what this means.
as a brother.
Part of the reason I walk
don't
around the hall
swear.
with hands over my ears is to protect them
Don't do
from
it.
the mouth on this guy.
It's not true.
One time I saw him and he said, and I quote,
Poop.
darn.
Oh, I
it was
thought he was gonna
darn.
go
It was the
poop. I
darn
thought you were
one.
gonna go poop
No,
on
you
that
talk about
one.
poop a lot, actually.
Sometimes.
That's a little weird.
Well, it's a
Yeah, I'll let-
natural
I'll let
bodily
you- I'll
function.
let you throw that.
All right, hey, woo.
Oh, what was? We got kind of a broad what was. What
This is a tiny-
was? This is okay.
little
Let's see.
one. Would you like? The
You know, I do
honors?
want to do
good.
the honors of this
It
one.
feels-
What
it feels
was?
nice. It's
Okay,
satisfying.
Mr. Turvy's first job.
I was a server at Frisch's Big Boy.
That makes sense
It
because
was.
of how much you enjoy antibiotic-ridden meat and
I thought
meat
you were going
that's
to say
ultimately
because I'm a
destroying
big
the
boy,
planet.
which would have been really weird. But
You do remind me of the big boy a little bit. That
I
kind of
enjoy
red
a
striped
good big
smile.
boy. Yes.
That
it
just makes
was
sense to me.
a
The mainliner, was it the mainliner?
spectacular uniform as well.
Yeah, I bet.
Pinstripe, orange
You
and
were
gray
a bus
shirt,
boy?
perfect gelled part with some
Okay.
bangs.
All
It's,
right. You know, I do. You do
can
use
know it.
gel on a regular basis, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's
I'm
really
more of a putty guy,
kind of late
but
80s of you.
nevertheless.
What was Mr. Turvy's favorite children's book? Whew, it's a juicy one.
Wow, that's an odd question. I don't. Does anyone know the answer to this?
I know the answer to
Like
this.
Your favorite?
I have the top three. But it's not about me.
Good Night Moon.
That's like what you read to 1-year-olds.
Well, that's a
like what you
children's
read
book.
if you can't read.
Are we-
It's like good night door. Good night, weird woman creepily standing in the corner.
I'm pretty sure it
Why do
doesn't
you
say
like
that
that book?
anywhere in
You've
the
got the
book.
Giving Tree. You've got Harold and the Purple Crayon. You have so many children's books. You choose Good Night Moon.
Yes.
You choose what
I have
my.
two twin nephews. That's their favorite book right now. It's the only one that came to mind. So
I'm sorry. Are they
sorry.
not able to understand plot? Is that the issue?
Well, they're two.
Okay,
so
that makes
I
sense.
don't know if that's a possibility.
I'm going on. What was Mr. Carter's? Oh wait, we're losing. We're not going to go that side.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh.
We're going backwards
ending with
on this
Turvy.
one.
What was his first impression of Mr. Turvy? I do have a good answer to this. I was on the interview team that hired Mr. Turvy, and I should probably start by saying we were at the bottom of the barrel in our kind of search request, and this Yahoo wanders in, and I took one look at the guy, and I'm like, okay, all right. This guy
Best
looks,
friends.
This guy looks pretty cool.
First thought.
This guy looks like someone that I could hang out with, I could teach with. Then he opened his mouth, and then the rest was history. He also tried to hug me in that first interview. It was really weird. Afterwards, I held up my hand
It is
for a
a practice
handshake,
I have continued to do
and the arm
daily.
went around. It's one of those moments where I just sort of froze and didn't know what to do, and he took that as, yeah, I'm going to continue to hug, which again he does every day, even though
We'll save
I
it for the
freeze,
finale.
lock up. It's terrifying. What was Mr. Carter's favorite children's book? I've already said him. A couple three. I'll tell you why The Giving Tree, and this is the honest truth. If you haven't read, have you read The Giving Tree?
I have.
You've read, and yet you didn't mention that as your favorite.
No, I didn't.
Okay, because you have no soul. So when it comes to The Giving Tree, I would argue that as an English teacher, you could do away with every book we teach, from the Shakespeare text to the Dickens text, everything across the board, wipe it away and teach only The Giving Tree. You want to know why?
Yes, please.
Every theme that matters to the human condition, from the idea of the inevitability of loss, the inevitability of death and decline, but also the saving power of love and redemption. All in that book. And it's about a tree.
Sold me.
It gives the apples, it gives its leaves, it gives everything. And what does that boy do? He sits on the stump. That is what life's all about.
And
We
you
are
wonder
the stump
why I love this
that
guy,
all of you
right?
sit on.
I mean, listen to
That is
that.
why The
That's
Giving Tree
passion.
is the
That's
best
passion.
book.
Another children. Another child.
Where did?
Let's move into Mr. Turvy.
Where did Mr. Turvy go to college? That's assuming he went to college. Fun
Yes.
fact, Mr. Turvy dropped out of high school in, I believe it was just after 9th grade. And then essentially kind of, as you said, worked at Frisch's for a few years and then got hired here at CHCA.
Okay. Now the true story. I actually went to
Truth.
Bowling Green State University.
relative.
I had a spectacular time in college. It was great.
You were a bit of a party animal, if I remember correctly.
No, that is also not
fraternity
true.
kind of guy.
No.
A little bit of hazing. Is that what I understand?
Zero hazing.
That's
zero
where the
fraternities.
tattoos and piercings came from, is it not?
No, that was in high school.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
No tattoos, just for the record.
No,
Where
just the
did
tattoos.
Mr. Turvy, learn to sing.
Oh, the golden
man.
voiced man himself. My gosh.
I grew up in a super musical family, small church. Mom inherited that, I suppose, from my mother. Singing with her, my uncle, my grandparents. My sister sings. So I don't know if I just kind of did it my whole life. So that's the first kind of semi-serious answer I think we've been able to.
You really kind of dropped the bar
I
on us
did.
with that. I was hoping something a little...
Where did Mr. Turvy
die? Where did Mr. Turvy die? That's the Google search. 7 years from now, when this goes in. No, this is did. This is very much did. Where did Mr. Turvy die? There's two answers here. There's his physical body, of course, several years from now, but there's also the fact that the Turvy himself, the Turvy that we all kind of know and love, where did he die? Probably the day that he met me and realized here's someone, a soulless, dark, depressing creature that just took the joy out of his life and just forevermore changed it.
Sure.
That was a legit autocomplete.
That's hilarious. Where did I die?
Why is? This is getting to the essence of life.
Really.
Why is? These are some
Why
deep questions.
Are big ones.
Why is Mr. Carter a teacher? Why is he a teacher?
Because he loves you guys, in spite of the tough exterior.
Again, true answers and not true answers. The true answer is there were two other career paths before Mr. Carter. One being an actor, and then that failed. And then an author, and that failed. And they say those who cannot act and those who cannot write and get published, ever, they teach. So there's that.
Someday.
My mother was a teacher and a principal. It's in the family. And when you go to Pensacola Christian College, there are basically three career paths. There's teaching, there's preaching, and there is becoming a nurse. And I decided nursing was not for me. Preaching, fun fact.
Bedside manner? Can you
preaching
imagine this guy?
almost. In fact, here's a fun fact. I went to Pensacola Christian College to get a degree in theology. And ended up as an English teacher. Bitter and disgruntled. There you go. Why is Mr. Carter a fan of wine sap apples? Ooh. My gosh. Have you tried a wine sap apple?
I did.
And what was your impression?
It was pretty dang good.
Pretty dang. There's that language again we were talking about. Pretty dang good.
Slip. Sorry about that.
Now, when you say pretty dang good, obviously it was a life-changing experience for you.
It was very, very good.
I have a theory. And when you think of Adam and Eve in the garden, run around naked, and apples grown on trees, and people saying, don't eat that one, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that was a wine sap apple. Eve took one look at that sucker, and she's like, dang, fate of humanity's fall for one bite of that apple, that's an easy choice. I would have made the same choice. In fact, Eve, I'm with you. First wine sap apple, good question. 5 years old, A&M Fruit Farm. My mother took me out there for the first time. I couldn't even reach the tree. Right? She grabs this apple off the tree, she hands it to me, I bite into that apple. That's my first memory of sheer, pure joy.
Good.
I've been going to that apple orchard every year since. A&M Fruit Farm.
I feel like we need a violin. This is a good story.
It's sappy, as it were.
Oh.
Why is Mr. Turvy? That is the best question yet. Why? This is a question I ask the universe every day.
We're going to continue to let him go.
Why? There's a great scene in the movie Platoon where kind of one of our pivotal characters, the tagline for this film is the first casualty of war is innocence. And this character is on his knees, arms to the sky. He's being shot multiple times. And as he dies, so does innocence. And I am that man on his knees, arms to the sky, saying, why is Mr. Turvy?
Yeah, I got nothing on that one either. I really wish I had a cool answer there.
So do we all.
I know. I assume that was another real one.
What is? I should let you do it.
All right,
I've been kind of monopolizing
this. No, it's okay.
this.
I don't mind it. What is Mr. Carter's? They're interested in you, man. Favorite coffee drink?
Well, there's only one coffee drink. I mean, let's face it.
He likes a good pour over.
Well, I mean, not just a good pour over, a perfect pour over.
And then the afternoon drink is the mocha.
That is true. That is true. You do know my order. It's you start with the perfect cup of coffee. You do. Which is 24 grams, obviously, of coffee to 360 grams of water, 1:15 ratio. Single origin coffee, usually from Guatemala or Ethiopia. So you get either the floral or the fruity notes. But then in the afternoon, you're like, you know what? I need that little kick of that beautiful chocolate, and that comes from the mocha.
Yep.
It's really about the schedule.
It is.
Yeah. What is, there's another one. Stephen Carter's book about.
You opened that door.
That's the unpublished book. That's the, I did send that out. I sent that out to 15 publishers.
Is it a children's book?
It is not a children's book. It is not a children's book.
The Giving Tree.
You know what? It's nonfiction. How about that? Nonfiction.
About food.
It is about food.
All right.
Nice call.
I feel like that's
spent
the way
a
to go.
summer interning at a restaurant. I was told you can either go to culinary school if you want to learn how to cook, or if you really want to learn how to cook, show up at a restaurant.
This man can cook. I'm not
offer
gonna lie.
to wash the floors
Very
every
good.
day for the next 5 months, and they will teach you how to cook. And I did that, and I wrote a book about it. And its title is Slap Chop: Tales of a Culinary Intern. It is 324 pages, and nobody wants to publish it. Probably because nobody wants to read it.
I have
would be
not
my
read
guess.
it. I know that's what many
Case
of you
in
are
point.
thinking.
Yeah. It is not available to read because no one wants to read it.
Maybe after this. Maybe after
Actually,
this.
Sorry, that was a mistake. That was about the other Stephen Carter, who has published books. My bad.
You know, they talk about thorns in your side.
There it is.
There is a published Stephen Carter. Did you know that?
I didn't.
I believe it's Stephen L. Carter. It's a published Stephen Carter. And in my first few years of teaching at CHCA, I had students say, Mr. Carter, I saw you have some books. I typed in your name and I saw you have some books. And it was one of those things where you have to say, no,
That L changes
that's the
things.
Stephen Carter that got published,
Yeah.
that went to Yale and not Pensacola Christian
You
College.
hang in there. Don't give up on the dream.
I feel like dreams are pointless. What is it like to work at CHCA? I'll let you answer that.
Stop.
This is the newbie. You've been here, what, a year and a half?
This place is magical.
A year and a
let's
half,
be
maybe.
serious. Doesn't mean it's perfect. It's magical, though. The environment here is second
That's
to
what they
none.
say about Disney World.
Exactly.
There's no Pirates of the Caribbean ride outside.
Oh, we go on a Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
When
every
you
day.
say magical, you're referring only to your classroom?
I'm referring
where
to
the
our
magic
environment,
happens?
our school. I think this is a great place to work. And I've worked at several other places, including Frisch's Big Boy. So
So, comparatively speaking,
I
you would
can't-
say working at CHCA is better than working at Frisch's Big Boy.
I would say definitively that is a yes.
I mean,
is
that right
far
there is
better.
a selling point.
I mean,
that's how we should advertise teaching jobs at CHCA. Right there.
better than Frisch's Big Boy.
Enough said.
Come work with us.
What does?
All right. What does Mr. Carter eat
What does Mr. Carter eat?
besides wine sap apples?
Well, wine tap apples is huge. Typically in the fall season, I will eat 4 to 5 of those a day.
One word: lentils.
I eat a lot of
And
lentils.
lots of
I eat a
lentils.
lot of lentils. Lentils are versatile. You can use lentils in anything. The answer that Mr. Turvy is searching for is anything locally grown, anything sustainably sourced, anything ethically raised. If it
And
meets those requirements, check, check, check.
lentils.
Mr. Carter will eat it, assuming it has lentils in it.
Yes.
Lots of lentils. The more lentils, the better. What does Mr. Carter think of Mr. Sockhill? Kevin. Kevo Kiddo, the Rev Kev.
gonna
Kevin
get the
Francis
serious or are we gonna
Sockhill
get
the
the comedic
first.
answer here?
I'm not
I'm
sure.
betting
I'm not
comedic.
sure. I'm not sure there is a serious
I don't
answer
know.
to this.
I don't know if this is going to be like this tier.
I will tell you this. When I first started at CHCA, Mr. Sockhill was the chaplain.
Yes.
And I remember looking at, he would wear this black t-shirt, and he had these like really cool trendy glasses, and he'd get up there on the stage, and he'd say postmodern things like, God. And I was like, dang, that dude is cool.
He is cool.
And a couple years later, I got to co-teach a class with this guy, Faith in Film and Fiction. Basically, I wrote the class, designed the class, came up with the class. He stood in there while I taught it. And then a couple years later, he took the class from me, and now he teaches it himself. Yeah, Mr. Sockhill. What a guy. You know, what just someone who sets the bar higher than any of us can possibly
We all
achieve.
strive to get there. He's no
is.
Mr. Baker, but he's there. He's close.
I'd say if you picture Mr. Sockhill with gray hair and a few inches taller,
He's getting there.
you'd have a Mr. Baker.
Yeah.
I see the parallel. I like that.
Yes, that's a great
Yeah.
comparison.
Formidable acquaintance, as it were.
Mr. Bacchio?
I don't-
Can we
I
do
don't-
some?
I'm a little worried about
no
that.
No mashup name on there?
What does Mr. Turvy want for Christmas?
Oh, man.
World peace, true love, happiness.
I don't love Christmas.
I
I'm
want
gonna
the
be honest.
students in my class. What?
Yeah, right? I like
You don't
Thanksgiving.
love Christmas?
I
You're like
don't.
Father Christmas. You're
I
like a
like what
guy
Christmas
whose
has
every
become,
day is Christmas
right?
morning. You're like the guy who's like, okay, I'm ready to live this day to my best potential, and
called
yet you
joy.
don't like the day
Yes,
of
I-
the
I
year that is all
don't-
about joy.
I don't really have a Christmas
Oh
list.
wait, I'm sorry. It's because you don't like Jesus.
That
Oh,
is also not
shoot.
true.
You know, I was afraid
Oh,
we were going
my
to get that
goodness.
on film, and now the truth is out there.
Not true.
Not liking Christmas,
I
and people call
love
me the
Jesus.
Grinch, and you're like, I don't like Christmas.
I don't
The
want
question's
Christmas
not even
to
about that. It says,
come.
what do you want for Christmas?
I don't want anything for Christmas
Oh, for
other than
crying out-
time with my family.
Oh my gosh, I knew this would come out
To
there.
watch the
Why can't it
joy
be
on my daughter's
something
faces
material? Why can't you
as
say,
they
I
relish
want
the
a
gifts that
new
they receive.
car. I want, for you would be like a fuzzy pair of socks or a Snuggie or something.
Snuggie. I like fuzzy socks. They're
You strike me as a fuzzy sock
I
kind
am
of guy.
a fuzzy sock kind of guy.
I knew that
I don't
in the
have
initial
any of them
interview.
on today, but I do like them.
Yeah,
Fuzzy socks. There we go. We've arrived at an answer.
fuzzy socks.
We'll end on that note.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Oh, sorry I had to endure that.